You know, deep in southern Africa, there's a tree that honestly looks like it belongs on another planet. It's this strange, beautiful, and kind of haunting figure that stands guard over one of the toughest landscapes in the world. So today, we're diving into the story of Namibia's ghost tree. I mean, just look at it. Standing all alone on these dry plains, its pale trunk almost seems to shimmer against the red earth and that massive sky. It's such a powerful image of survival, a real icon of the Namibian wilderness. And this quote, wow, it just nails the mystery of it, doesn't it? It suggests it's not just a tree, but maybe an apparition, especially after the sun goes down. So the big question is, how in the world did it get a name like that? To really understand the name, we've got to get properly introduced. So let's go ahead and meet the ghost tree. Okay, so is it just some old folklore, or is there something real, something you can actually see, that gave this tree such a supernatural reputation? Let's find out. So get this, it's not just a story. The name is a literal description of what happens. When the tree is leafless, its smooth, pale bark actually glows under the moonlight. Can you just imagine stumbling upon a whole group of them in the dead of night? Yeah, it would look exactly like a gathering of ghosts. Next up, we're going to see how this tree's story is completely tied to its very specific, and I mean very isolated home. This thing is a true Namibian original. What's so incredible is just how unique this tree is. It's a true native, found almost nowhere else on Earth. It's basically a geographical loner, separated by this huge distribution gap from all of its relatives. And on top of all that, it's probably the most succulent of its kind, making it an absolute master of storing water in a land defined by drought. In this picture just illustrates its solitary nature perfectly. Whether it's clinging to a rocky hillside or standing defiantly out on a vast plain, this tree is often an army of one. So a single tree is a really striking sight. But what happens when these ghosts break their solitary habit and decide to gather? Well, the answer is just breathtaking. They create the Märchenwald, which is German for the fairy tale forest. You can find it in Namibia's famous Etosha National Park, and it's one of the only places where these ghosts come together in huge numbers, creating a scene that looks like it's straight out of a storybook. So how does this tree manage to survive and even thrive in such a challenging place? Well, let's take a look at the anatomy of a survivor. The secret to its survival is right there in its most iconic feature. That massive, swollen trunk isn't just for show. It's basically a highly evolved water tank, a soft-wooded, succulent reservoir that lets the tree push through those long periods without any rain. So let's look at the specs for this survivor. It can grow up to 6 meters tall with that huge trunk reaching a meter across. The smooth, light bark helps reflect the intense sun, and its scientific name, ovalifolia, while that just comes from its oval-shaped leaves. Every single feature is a very deliberate adaptation for life in the drylands. And you know, despite its really rugged appearance, it produces these delicate little clusters of flowers. It's such a beautiful contrast, the tough survivor producing something so fragile. But the story of the ghost tree is about way more than just its looks or its toughness. This is where we uncover its hidden talents, because this tree is so much more than a myth. Because it turns out this strange-looking tree is an absolute powerhouse of useful properties. It's a true gift to its ecosystem. Okay, get this. Its seeds can actually be used to make water bacteria-free. How amazing is that? Its vitamin C levels are right up there with oranges. The green fruits and leaves are used as a vegetable, and its oil is used in everything from salads to skincare. This isn't just a ghost, it's a natural treasure chest. And it comes from a pretty accomplished family. While its relatives are famous for things like oils used by watchmakers or having roots that taste like horseradish, our ghost trees specialized, it went all in on being a succulent, becoming the ultimate water-storing machine. But like a lot of fairy tales in the modern world, this one has a dark chapter. The very existence of this incredible tree is now facing some really serious threats. If you visit the fairy tale forest today, you'll see that many of the ancient trees are surrounded by fences. Now, the official reason for this is to protect them from elephants, which can just push these soft-wooded giants right over. But this quote reveals a much sadder, more complicated truth. The fences might also be necessary to protect the trees
from a far more dangerous visitor: us. And the reason is the tree's incredibly soft, vulnerable bark. Tourists, ignoring rules that say you can't even leave your vehicle, have carved names and dates into these ancient trunks, leaving permanent scars on these living monuments. The unfortunate reality is that the threats are coming from all sides. Elephants are a natural risk, illegal settlers use the unique wood for firewood, and then careless tourists vandalize the trunks with graffiti, all for a fleeting moment of recognition.
And this brings us to the final critical question. The ghost tree and its fairy tale forest are not myths. They are real, living ecosystems that are ancient and incredibly fragile. And protecting them is going to require a lot more than just a fence. It's going to require respect and a real understanding of what we all stand to lose.